Convergence of a little under 100 men and women at Machaca Outreach Camp in Toledo to discuss with legal advisors the way forward will be viewed by some as an anticlimactic continuation of the fight against the government of Belize and U.S. Capital Energy. To others, charting the way forward, albeit in a spirit of dialogue, is in accordance with the rule of law. This is the second recorded mass gathering of Maya leaders and other members of the indigenous community since government waived the extension for the oil company to access the SATIIM National Park on April 30th.
In light of these experiences, we call upon the international community to demand that the government of Belize uphold the civil, political, economic, social, and cultural rights of its indigenous people in all of its development agenda. Indigenous people and local communities' best practices at the grassroots level prove that right-based approach to sustainable development and natural resource conservation are the best way forward. We oppose any attempt by the government of Belize to conduct dealings on our land without the free, prior, and informed consent of our community as a whole. We reaffirm our consent to have SATIIM, its lawyers, an expert to be our legal representative, technical representative, to take all necessary steps to protect and defend our territories.
The press conference held today by the SATIIM Institute for Indigenous Management succeeds extensive discussions with claimant villages that make up a portion of the buffer communities. At present, an application for an injunction to bar U.S. Capital from resuming its work within the protected area is before the Supreme Court.
The government has embarked upon a charade of having supposed consultations with other parties who are not parties to the claim. We call on the government to obey the rule of law and the order of the Supreme Court. We have filed an application for a post-judgment injunction which is to be heard on the 16th of June. The purpose of that is because the permit under which U.S. Capital is in the SATIIM National Park has expired on the 30th of April. There has, according to the government, been no extension of that permit. That company is therefore involved in unlawful activities within the SATIIM National Park. And we call on that company to submit itself to the rule of law and not to the rule of money and the jungle.
On May 1st, when a throng of irate Maya leaders and community members descended upon Sunday Wood, a bold declaration was made that the activities of U.S. Capital would, as of that day, be monitored closely. SATIIM has provided an update.
We are cognizant of the fact that we could block U.S. Capital and their people from going in, but I think that we want to give the new injunction application that we have applied. I think that we are being restrained among ourselves, decided that we should refrain from engaging physically, from confronting U.S. Capital, to give the process a chance, which also demonstrate the goodwill and the willingness of the community to address the illegal activity that is occurring and is supported by the government of Belize inside the SATIIM National Park.
Chalk also warned government that the indigenous community, once all legal options have been exhausted, will make a final decision on what action will be taken to put an end to the exploratory work within the national park.
To the government of Belize, and especially to the Prime Minister of this country, that if he believes that the Maya community is going to waver, is going to be frustrated, he needs to understand the legacy of resistance is in our blood. It has been there for the last 500 years, and as long as we are alive, we will continue with our sustained effort. We're giving the opportunity of due process a chance. But as I said earlier, we believe in the court, and when we reach that point where we believe the court is no longer able to protect our interests, or the government refuses to protect our interests, then it is the community that will make a determined decision on what action, appropriate action they will take. And
Reporting for News 5, I am Isanaka.